Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Celente, and it's Tuesday, June 27th, 2023. And you know what Tuesday is? Yep, Trends Journal Day. And there's no peer in the world to the Trends Journal, and here's your new cover. King James Bible got it wrong. The GEEK shall inherit the earth. And they have, not the meek. What a geek freak show it is. They suck the joy out of life. These once upon a time, there used to be a sound and style of music. Gone. Synthesized to death. Remember what these guys look like? Yeah, they got these t-shirts and jeans. No style. Well, I got my t-shirt on too. But this is a very special t-shirt. And here's your t-shirt. This is what it really looks like when you see the whole thing. Hey, politicians, who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? And you take a look at the back of it. Yep. Hey, politicians, go fuck yourself. In a country near you. But anyway, the Geek 7, you go to trendsjournal.com, and you go order them in international to, we got to put how much it costs. It costs a lot to ship them, but, we're giving it at the best price we can to spread the word because we got a bunch of shitheads telling us what to do. And this AI, by the way, again, you look at your Trends Journal. I just had it here a little while ago. Here it is. This is when it was a quarterly newsletter. They used to call them newsletters in the day. .com this, 1999. I had forecast a .com bust. The first and only person to do so. The facts are there. In your Trends Journal. Again, there's no peer magazine in the world that matches it. So now there's a lot of talk about, hey, the markets are up today. NASDAQ keeps going up. One of the reasons the AI keeps going up. Is the AI the next .com bust? Absolutely not. No way, no how. We're writing about it in detail. This is real. They're using it from medical science, what used to be called journalism, music, you name it, they got it. And this is the new world. The geeks have inherited the earth. They've lost the soul of life. Yep. We own your mind. Repeat what we tell you. Don't think for yourself. So this is real. So we got a lot of articles in here. We have a special section each week in the Trends Journal, besides the great columns that Joe Duran writes on technocracy and AI. We have a whole AI section. So we're giving you what nobody else is giving you. And again, we're political atheists. We call it like it is. We don't sell our soul to advertisers. There's no advertisements in your Trends Journal. So going back to this week's Trends Journal, you got to read the economic update and the market overview, what's going on, this economic update, because there's really two sides to this thing. There are many sides to it. It's globalnomic. It's making connections between different fields. The crisis we're going in now on the economic front, no one's talking about how it got here, where we are and where we're going. The how we got here has happened a long time ago as they kept pumping cheap money into the economy, particularly during the Great Recession, when they started lowering interest rates and made up some fucking shit, some fucking scumbag bankster shit called quantitative easing. How about go fuck yourself? Fuck you, Celente. We have to enrich the rich. That's all we're interested in. You're nothing but a plantation worker on slave land here. So they artificially propped this thing up. This thing was crashing before the COVID war. You go back to 2019, Germany was that far away from recession, the fourth largest country economically in the world. There was a new world disorder, people taking to the streets in France, the Yellow Vests, in South Africa, in Algeria, in throughout South and Latin America, people taking to the streets. Lack of basic living standards, crime, government corruption, violence. Then the COVID war happens. We're going to make up some more fucking shit where little arrogant scumbag suck-ass pricks, where little shits that couldn't find our way out of a paper bag, where fucks like Guzzo and Gavin Newsom locking down California, the fuckface from Italy that locked it down after the Chinese locked it down to stop the protests in Hong Kong. You forgot about that. No, we're fighting the COVID war. Don't you remember people falling in the street? Making up that shit? And then California. Then state of Washington. New York. One after another, these little fucking arrogant pricks. Fuck you! Fuck you, politician! Don't you tell me what to do. And any politician, now hear this, in the United States that wants to give me an order and make me do something, come over here and talk to me man to man and try to make me do it. I will not do anything that violates my Bill of Rights of the Constitution. My Bill of Rights of the Founding Fathers. You will not stop me from obeying it. They fucked this country up and they fucked the world up. The damage done by the COVID war is not being reported. Oh, and then I forgot the other war, the Ukraine war, where the fuckfaces put thousands of sanctions on Russia that have driven up the prices across the board on inflation. And then the COVID war, supply chain disruptions. People ain't going to work. What supply chain disruptions? You're pumping fucking trillions of dollars into the economy to artificially prop it up. You're bringing interest rates down to zero and you kept them in negative. And you're wondering why the fuck there's inflation and we're going into recession as now you're raising interest rates? This is serious. And as I said, when all else fails, they take you to war. We are in World War III. What happened with this Wagner group, and now there's information that the United States intelligence knew about it. Did it have anything to do with it? And there's a great article in this week's Trends Journal by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, former Assistant Treasury Secretary under Ronald Reagan. Seeing how Putin fucked up. They have just ramped up the Ukraine war. And now Russia's going to ramp it up as well. And this will really make you happy. This is just, as I'm going on the air, I want to see what the hell is going on. Russia Today. Sergei Karaganov. Here's why Russia has to consider launching a nuclear strike on Western Europe. Who is this guy? He's a professor and honorary chairman of Russia's Council on Foreign and Defense Policy, an academic supervisor of the School of International Economics and Foreign Affairs, Higher School of Economics in Moscow. Oh, isn't that great? I hope we never use nuclear weapons, but the fact that we refuse to allow their use in all situations except in the case of mortal danger to the state itself seems to me to be ridiculous. The U.S. is tying Russians' hands in this way, hoping that in the long run, this long war will cause an internal implosion. And as a result, this would radically weaken its main rival, China, which will be left to fend for itself. This is a strategic plan that is absolutely clear. And he goes on to talk about why they should use a nuclear weapon if they have to. I held a major peace rally here on May 27th in Kingston, New York. Well over 1,000 people showed up. Top speakers, including Dennis Kucinich, RFK Jr.'s national campaign manager. Zero coverage. Great speakers. John Whitehead of the Rutherford Institute. Craig Jardula. Frank Morano. And others. Zero coverage. Thousands and thousands of emails went out announcing it to the media. Zero coverage. You look at it, go to occupypeace.com and watch this rally. Nothing like it in America. Zero coverage. And the only people that donate to us are you. And a lot of you have been very generous, and I thank you. But it's small change compared to what we need to happen. And the billionaires and the multimillionaires are giving us nothing. And as I said about how they're driving us as plantation workers into Slavelandia, and the rich are getting richer, as we talk about now, an economic update, when they launched the COVID war, in those 2 years, the billionaires got $27 trillion richer, while everybody else got poorer. But the 10% made some money too. So going back to your Trends Journal, this magazine is packed with information. And again, you go to trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com. We're giving you what nobody else is giving you, in-depth socioeconomic and geopolitical trends analysis and trend forecasts. U.S. bond market bets on recession. The American dream turning into a nightmare. Evictions skyrocket after COVID-era protections expire. Yellen agrees with Celente. That's right. More banks will merge, and more of the bigs will get bigger. Look what we're giving you. And again, we're the first and the only to have forecast the office building bust, and this bust is going to get a lot worse. Look at what you're getting. Look at these magazines. Look at the covers. Nothing like this in the world. There is no peer to the Trends Journal. Trends on the global economic front. When the economy falls, jobs go with it. This is our 44th week. Oh, UBS just announced they're going to lay off about 35,000 people. Don't worry, everything's fine. Central banks, now the hard part begins. IMF developing global digital currency platform. No kidding. And again, you don't have time to read this. You can listen to the Trends Journal. Again, there's no magazine like this in the world. Spotlight on Europe's economic crisis. Ukraine war trend update. All of that. Fuck peace. U.S. mobilizes to target countries that refuse to fight against Russia. Featured guest article. You can't miss this one by Dr. Paul Craig Roberts. And again, presidential reality show. What's going on there? Guest article by Dr. Joseph Mercola. More reasons to quit using any artificial sweeteners. Again, the geeks have inherited the earth. We want artificial in everything. It's the artificial world. Artificial colors, artificial flavor, artificial music, artificial. And what else do we have? Trends Eye View. What came first, lab-grown chickens or the cells? Forever Chemicals. Yep. More and more. Top Trend 23. Colleges continue to close across the U.S. We called it. And what else? Trends in High-Tech Science. Trends in Technocracy by Joe Duran. Yep, the technocracy champ of the world. Here's one of his books. Be Human. Essays on countering transhuman self-destruction. The The technocracy section in this book, in this Trends Journal and the book, is like nothing you will ever see anywhere, any place, anyhow. Is Amazon looking to cancel human authors? This week in surveillance, the tantalizing prospect of surveillance GPT. Trends in cryptos, trends in the COVID war, COVID revelations. CDC knew about breakthrough cases in January 2021. And Hotes, that clown, RFK Jr. points out his close ties to Chinese covert experiments, on and on and on. Again, trends in geopolitics. We're giving it to you all. You got it all. So, what are you doing to bring peace on earth? Most people are too dumb or they're too self-absorbed to know the facts of what's going on. The people that subscribe to the Trends Journal and are listening to this channel, and please tell the people, you tell your friends to subscribe to the channel, know what's going on. But most people don't have a clue. It has been going on for centuries. The masses march off to the dictates by the dictators that people call their leaders, little pieces of shit. And again, you know, I'm very passionate about what I say, and I'm a fighter for freedom. I'm a warrior for the Prince of Peace. But there's another side of Celente, you know, a very loving, passionate, kind side of Celente, and you could see it with this wonderful interview with this little other side of Celente story about the beauty that's Eugene Gregan's work, that wonderful artwork. I surround myself with beauty. As an antidote to all the ugliness going on, I try to create a beautiful world around me. Here I am with Ronald Reagan at 30 years old, picking him up to Chicago Hilton. Yep. So I surround myself with beauty, and I fight for peace. What are you doing? How little support I get other than the subscribers to this channel and the Trends Journal for peace. Occupy peace. Could you imagine? Peace is a dirty word. They hate me on the media. I'm one of the most hated people in Kingston, New York, for holding peace and freedom rallies. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that's how low it's sunk? So support us because we're supporting you. And when you subscribe to the Trends Journal, you're supporting yourself. So thanks for tuning in. And tomorrow, don't forget, Celente and the Judge Andrew Napolitano, and he has a lot to say. Again, this war in Russia, the United States is at war with Russia. And so is NATO and the UK, or the FUCK, a little bunch of pricks running the show. So thanks for tuning in. And remember, the future's in your hands. Don't drop it. United we stand, divided we die. Again, trendsjournal.com, trendsjournal.com, the only magazine in the world where you'll read history before it happens, and it costs the grand total of $2.86 a week. So please, don't tell me you can't afford it. If you can't afford to see the future, that's your business, because there's no magazine in the world that comes close to what we're putting out. Thank you.
At the Trends Journal, the best investment you could make, because it's the best investment into your mind, and it can change how you look at the world.
Less than $3 per week for almost 200 pages, ad-free, great articles. The world's foremost trends forecaster, Gerald Celente.
The Trends Journal is one of the greatest sources of information, and and it really is. You're predicting these things well ahead of time. I would encourage everyone to go grab the latest copy.
Been a Trends Journal subscriber for 20 years. I just have to commend you. What you guys have put together in your latest Trends Journal, there's nothing like this out there.
Sir, everything that you predicted about the economy, you were absolutely right. So I have followed you all this time. So please take a look at the Trends Journal.
You correctly forecast that the Fed would hike rates quite aggressively, correctly said that initially gold and silver would drop as the Fed starts to raise rate to 1.5% and above. When we spoke last, Bitcoin was around 49,000. You said you expect to drop, and if it drops below 30, 35, then it could really drop.
Trends Journal, which I would encourage people to go and check out. It's actually a 200-page document, pure data-driven analysis.
Gerald Celente, the top trends forecaster in the world. Gerald, you had an interesting call back in September of last year. You said gold had bottomed, which is exactly what happened. And here we are, and we're above $1,900.
Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happened at trendsjournal.com.